Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigvald here and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to take a look at some solid fights and we're going to open up with a fight against Black Manta. We have Kimfla and Sakumin with Nora Snow Globe actually. Look, Manta doesn't have that much health and I maybe could have gotten more damage out of it if I had the Firebox and played for the Kimfla and Sakumin base damage, considering that I'm only going to get 1/3 special per clone because I'm going to by default get tagged out, but I don't think it would have been that much of a difference if even we would have done more damage, so let's see how this goes. I'm just going to combo and chop him here because I want him to do the super move on me. There we go, super move done, and the first clone should have just enough health to get a 3rd special. At this point the power generation just won't be enough to get me to a 2nd, 3rd special, yeah, even if I was in the last minute, I don't think that would have been enough. And there was no way for me to tank the super move without dying. King dies again, but that's fine, the clone has... I mean, the problem is not the energy, the problem is the timer. Has enough time to do a 3rd special. For the 1st special, the problem is not the timer. Then if we want to do more than one, then there's a little bit of a problem. So we have him in the corner here, combo and chopped him, and... another 3rd special with Kimfla and Sakumin. The base Kimfla and Sakumin. The original. And we're not done with that yet. Combo and chopped again. Another 3rd special in there. There we go. Ring-ish the combo. Combo and chopped again. And we're still not done. I think I done a special 2 at the start of the fight, so good thing I did not chill after this one and I wasn't like, it doesn't matter from this point on, because boy, that was another percentage shell, that was 47 mil damage that we could have missed. So basically from this point on, we're not gonna do that much damage because we have no passive stats, because in the Apocalypse the passive stats don't split, and even if we had, like putting Nora Snow Globe on Kimfla and Sakumin, you're kind of admitting to dealing less damage than if you had like Dark Metal cards after you're done with your clones. But 3rd special in there nevertheless, we're dealing almost 1 mil with the 3rd special, so that's a decent number. That's something that might save us another fight possibly, depending on how much damage we are able to deal with our teams here. Come and chopped again. Come and chopped again. Into another 3rd special. There we go. Ring-ish the combo there. Come and chopped again. Into another 3rd special, there we go. And yeah, a pretty straightforward fight overall. It went well. I have not failed combo interruption even once, my dudes. Like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's wrong, but it's going well. Okay, so that was about it for King. And look, I don't think I would have done more with Firebox instead of Nora Snow Globe. Over here I have a Batman Ninja team fight. In this one I have the Firebox at level 9 on Catwoman. I don't have Beta Club, like, look, you might be able to at some points get more from the Beta Club than from the Firebox, but my Beta Club is level 8, my Firebox is level 9, so I'm just gonna use the Firebox at this point, because yet again, Beta Club is going to be severely nerfed by no passive stats. So we have to let 2 characters die. And like, I already know how much damage I would deal with the Beta Club equipped. It's gonna be roughly 120 mil damage, because think about it. Since we have no passive stats and we're going to get the annoying tag-in stuff at the start, we're going to deal as much damage as we would deal in League raids against Horrific Scarecrow, maybe even less, because Horrific Scarecrow tends to be a little bit faster on average on killing your other 2 characters, so that Catwoman is alone in there. So best case scenario, we would have done 120 mil damage, and I think I can get far more out of Firebox, at the very least in this fight specifically. Another big up of the Batman Ninja team in this fight is that we don't have to worry about his armor. Like, this dude having armor was a little bit of an overkill to an extent, because having to deal with a high defense on top of having Chaos tag in is going to be a little bit of a problem in a lot of scenarios, but at the same time there's a lot of things that bypass it. like percentage health damage and Batman Ninja team, and that's been everything that we've been using against Manta at this point, so it works well enough. I do miss the Dark Metal cards though, I definitely do miss the Dark Metal cards, but without passive stats I wouldn't get much damage out of the Dark Metal cards, because like look, we would get more crit damage, we would get the guaranteed crits, but we would miss on tens of thousands of attack. Like, I don't exactly know how much my Firebox at level 9 gives me. I'm going to actually open the app while this fight is going on, so I can let you know the exact amount. And I'm quite close to getting the Firebox at level 10. I mean, not really close, but getting there slowly. And it's kind of funny because I think it will be kind of the same time when Dawn of Apocalypse is going to be 2 years old. Well, yeah, it took 2 years to max out the artifacts. That's a balanced output of resources if I've ever seen one. I never thought I would see the day when I can start working on my other Dawn of Apocalypse artifacts, like the Entropy. Can't wait to get that Entropy to level 10. It'll take most likely 2 more years, or maybe 1, since we're going to be in higher heroic. Though, if they release more stories and we see Dawn of Apocalypse less often, I don't know about that one, my dudes. But yeah, this fight went well enough yet again. Quite good gameplay, if I might say so myself. We didn't fail so far. The damage on third special is fine. It's far lower than the damage that we would get on average with Dark Metal cards and with the passive stats from artifacts, I guess. But it is what it is. It's the best that we can get in this scenario. Okay, so the exact amount that a level 9 Firebox gives me is 27, boys. 27,000 attack. Almost 28, it's 27.8, my dudes, so it's going to be a huge amount of attack. So here we have Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze. Look, my dudes, Mr. Freeze without Beta Club sucks absolute ass. And a lot of times when I make this statement in various videos, for example the video about the top characters for free-to-play and pay-to-win, I didn't even put Mr. Freeze on the list, because he sucks ass without Beta Club. And somebody was like, oh, you suck off Manta too much. Mr. Freeze just as hard to get as Manta, and he does damage without the Beta Club. Look, my dude, we're in a situation here where I have given him a classic Superman to reduce the defense, a classic Wonder Woman to increase the crit damage that we deal, and a level 9 Firebox that allows him to have 27 additional K attack, and we also deal 190% additional damage on swipe attacks, so let's see how that goes. Also, the gameplay here, the gameplay loop with Mr. Freeze in general without Beta Club is going to be absolute garbage. Because look, with the Beta Club it's going to be very convenient. You freeze the enemy, you do jump attacks, you let the dots run its course and you take a look at it. But when the enemy is frozen, for some reason it is just garbage, because there's going to be 2 scenarios. When the enemy gets unfrozen, you're going to either try to continue hitting them, at which point they will break your combo and block after they get out of the freeze, or you can try to combo and chop them, but they'll do the jump attack to try and jump out of the hazard that you have over there. So the mechanics are really not on your side, and I don't know why they have nerfed the freezing effect, because previous to that you could easily chain a combo from a freezing effect. I'm spamming swipe here because it's by far my highest damage thing. The special 2 will deal a decent amount of damage, so I'm going to at some point begin to spam it. Look, I'm not saying this was the absolute proper top Mr. Freeze gameplay and nobody plays this better than me. No, this is borderline garbage, but look, you're not gonna get much more out of him than this. Though granted it's a 3-star Mr. Freeze, but I can guarantee you a 3-star Manta would have done at least triple the damage here with the same resources at his disposal, my dudes. This man is amazing with Beta Club, arguably the best character in the game, but for the free-to-play side of things he sucks ass. And I'm not saying this as a flex, like haha, my Mr. Freeze is so much better because I got the Beta Club. I'm trying to give out proper information to not mislead people into trying to build Mr. Freeze without having the Beta Club, and seeing that he sucks ass and his gameplay is overall unenjoyable. And you might eventually get some out of it if you have a very strong Mr. Freeze. Let's say a 5-star, 6-star Mr. Freeze with a high-level passive. You might get some damage out of him, but until that point he's going to suck ass. And this 3-star Mr. Freeze with a Beta Club in our soul rates can deal a ton of damage. But yeah, this is as far as no Beta Club Mr. Freeze goes. I'm not going to do this again. So yeah, 31 mil. Oh boy. Yeah, here we have a Collector vs Superman fight, and over here I had a lot of trouble combo interruptions for some reason. And I don't know, my dude, I've been complaining about combo interruption for so damn long, but literally, look, I have two different devices. I played on emulator, and nowadays to bypass the awkward login type of thing, I'm going to have two separate emulators for each of my accounts. I'd basically open a new Android device. The settings on both of them are the same, so the game should perceive the phone being as good on each of the phones. But what I suspect is that Injustice Mobile gave me a different graphics profile or something like that on secondary accounts. I don't know how to explain, but the thing is, on the main account the fights lag far less and are far more enjoyable and smooth to play. On the secondary account I have a lot more trouble combo interrupting from a block. It just doesn't work well enough, and this kind of pinpoints how dumb this system is, because it's literally the same phone emulated on two different devices, and it has different graphics profiles. Like, my dude, why? Also, why can't they just give the option to change the graphics yourselves in the settings? Like, I get that it's going to be a lot of memory and they can't include all the graphic profiles in the same app because it will take too much data, but a lot of games have the option of changing the graphics profiles, and when you're going to change the graphics profiles, the game is going to download that new graphics profile at that point, not by default when you download the game. So that's definitely an option. Like, you can change the graphic profile, but I was too lazy to do it, to be honest, though I think I will. In the next following days, if I remember it, I will try to change to a lower graphic profiles to see if it improves the situation over here. But yeah, over here I'll fail to combo interrupt a lot of times, my dudes. And it got to the point where I was as careful as possible, as cautious as possible with combo interruption. Like, I was not laying back on my chair because I'm playing it on PC. I was like right there on top of my keyboard, staring at the screen, being very, very concentrated, trying to do the exact same things that I did with no trouble on my main account. It just doesn't. It just doesn't work, my dudes. It just doesn't want to work. And every single time it doesn't work, it makes me feel like the block was not pressed enough, or I blocked the first hit but the second hit doesn't, my hit doesn't go in fast enough. So I don't know, my dudes, but overall, a very frustrating fight overall, and the damage of this fight was actually far more than I deserved, my dudes. And yeah, Brainiac can do it. Brainiac has no trouble with it. Look at this. Brainiac is going smoothly, but then this piece of purple garbage comes in there and can't combo interrupt at all. I mean, I did at the end. I had to really redeem myself a bit at the end. And we're going to wrap things up with a cleanup from Banshee. And you might be like, well, Sigval, that's a little bit of a difference in terms of damage there. What team did you use between the Collectorverse team and the Zero Banshee team? I don't want to talk about that. You're not going to see that Just League team fight. You're just not, because I'm in possession of it and I refuse to air that out there, because I'm scared of the effect that this might have on society, considering how atrocious it was. But yeah, reverse flashback in there. And another thing, like, obviously I'm not gonna show you the Just League fight because I couldn't just combo interrupt with Just League Flash, and now we have another Flash character reverse flash and I have no trouble with it. I don't know what's going on, man. I just don't anymore. But yeah, all that being said, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, dislike it if you dislike it, hit that subscribe button. I post Injustice Mobile daily, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
This is the future.